Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nicholas Malson speaking, and welcome back to my podcast where you and I will hopefully smile once again. Especially welcome to this special 25th episode of my podcast. I've been treating you with quite a lot of specials recently, haven't I? If you have come back from the previous episode, which by the way, I thank you so much for. In the previous episode, my amazing friend Michael has paid me a visit, and we had a live recording happening in my place. And it was really nice, and I feel like this episode went really well. So, on the 25th episode, unfortunately, I didn't prepare another special guest, but I have decided to do something different this time. And that thing is going to be a Q&A. Now, I have prepared 25 questions. Most of them I have found myself, but some of my friends have given me a hand on a short notice, which I really appreciate, because this Q&A idea was spontaneous, and I've only thought about it probably either yesterday or on Thursday, so didn't really have enough time to just prepare for it. So I've decided, okay, since it's 25th episode, I'm gonna prepare 25 episodes. Some of these questions have been brought up by my friends, and some of the questions I have found myself. So it's going to be a perfect blend of questions. These are themed on optimism and self-improvement. So I hope that the answers will be satisfying, and I do hope that you may find something useful in these answers, useful enough to perhaps give you some motivation and continue improving yourself, I guess. So from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank my friends, such as Michael, Paul, and Scott, for providing some of these questions. And I want to thank everyone for your continued support. And I do hope that there will be more episodes to come. So, with that being said, let us begin. Right, I have just prepared a document. Well, I actually have prepared it earlier today, but I just want to make sure that I've got it visible in front of me whilst I'm recording. So, 25 questions, let's go. First question. What was the situation where you laughed the hardest you ever have? Well, there were multiple situations, but the most recent one, there was a video that Michael has shown me. There was it's a comedy skit. There was this person who was, playing, a kind of like try-hard gangster, that kind of stuff. And there was this phrase that kind of like I did not expect, but with a perfect delivery and an unexpected time when it was brought up, like I laughed really, really hard. Like I had to pause the video because I laughed so hard I almost ran out of breath. It was something about like, hey, I like your no, actually no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually leave a link to that video, so you could actually watch it yourselves. That video in general was really funny. So hopefully you will just you'll try and find the moment which I found the funniest. So when you see that video, just maybe write in the comments like which moment you thought was the funniest, and if it matches up with what I found the funniest, then I'll let you know, and then something else may happen, who knows. So yeah. Second question. How do you approach life? That's a very good question, because my perception of life has changed quite significantly in the last couple of years. But right now, I see life as an opportunity to cherish the smallest things. And I believe that life is getting better. And if it doesn't, I always find ways to make it better. Because it is not just about what life can bring to you, it's about what you can bring to life. And yeah, I think life is it's a very special event, which, well, lasts for your entire life. Excuse the repetition. And whatever you do will cause consequences. So basically, try to make the most amount of positive outcome as you can. And then a lot of positivity will come back at you. So it's a very difficult context, the life itself, because there are lots of things just being taken into consideration. Maybe I'll actually delve deeper into this question at some point in the later episodes. So stay tuned if you want to hear me talk more about this question. Question number 3. If a person is naturally pessimistic, what would your advice be to them? Now, the thing is that I personally think that there is no such thing as natural pessimism or optimism. These perceptions of life are developed throughout the life itself. It's based on your experiences that you have faced or you have witnessed, and it's about the way that you approach those experiences. So, I think when someone refers to themselves as naturally pessimistic, what I think is that they unfortunately have witnessed lots of bad experiences in their lives, and they have found it difficult to look at these experiences in a lighter way. So what my advice would be to them is, perhaps, apart from just thinking bad things about those experiences, maybe try finding something good out of those experiences as well. Now, what I want to say first is that you should never ignore pessimistic things. You just need to take them into consideration. And obviously there are some examples of bad experiences which are never good. And I don't say find optimism in everything. Like, obviously there are some examples that you shouldn't do that for. And I'm not going to refer to them at this time. Don't want to ruin the vibes, but you know the ones that I'm talking about, or at least you feel like you have an understanding. So, when applicable, like for example, let's say you have missed your bus for work. Now, the pessimistic approach will be, crap, I have missed the bus to work, I'm going to be late. My boss will be very angry at me and all that stuff. Now, then try to switch it around. I was like, okay, I have missed the bus. I can always take a next bus. I can let the manager know that, sorry, I've missed the bus by complete accident. It wasn't unintentional. How am I going to spend this time? Oh, I know. Let's take a walk. Just enjoying some fresh air. Yeah, there we go. I'm enjoying some fresh air. And it's nice weather as well. Oh, well, maybe it's rainy. Okay, I've forgotten my umbrella. Okay, well, at least our city is having a bit of a shower now. It needs some cleaning after all. It's okay. The next bus is gonna be here in no time. Let's just enjoy some fresh air. There we go. So it's just about flipping the coin to its other side. That's pretty much it. And don't be afraid to talk to yourself. You don't have to talk things out loud. Just have this kind of internal monologue with yourself. Or maybe write things down when something like this happens. In your phone, or if you have a pen and paper with you, or pencil, paper, whatever. Just write things down. Or maybe record audio logs when something like this happens. just try and find optimistic things where it's applicable. Um, yeah, and I hope this advice works. Question number 4. What is something that you would really like to try again? You know, even with the negative experience I had, um, I would like to study again. The thing is that I'm actually already doing it, but it's not really like proper education wise. But what I'm talking about is I'm actually getting ready for a citizenship exam, um, specifically the one called Life in the UK. And I've actually, like, enjoyed studying so far. So I have, read books, I have started doing some practice tests, and just been recording my progress, and just started identifying the strengths and weaknesses of my studying, like what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. And It's a really good experience. Because back in the day when I was at college and university, I just don't think that I have had a correct approach on studying, and I did not enjoy studying at that time. I felt really demotivated. Uh, I didn't do much there. But now, maybe as I have become a bit more mature, like I think I started having like this thirst for knowledge, I guess, and studying is something that kind of helps me just become the better me. And probably won't go to university because like my perception of universities is still not optimistic, to say the least. um but maybe college or something like that. um like maybe not actually doing it now, but like when I feel like there is something that I actually want to do, then that should be worth looking at. But for now, I'm actually doing some kind of studying, but like not education wise, but more like studying for an exam. Um, and I just have a really good job now, so I don't want to leave it all behind just for going back to college and such. But maybe one day I will think about it a bit more. Who knows? Maybe I will enjoy it much better than I used to experience college or uni before. So, yeah. Um, Question number 5. How do you think your reality differs from others you know? Oh, that's a really good question. I think, again, different people have different experiences. And these experiences, they develop the perception of reality. And again, depends on how good or bad the person's life was. And they may be seeing things differently. Also, depending on whether or not the person has any mental or physical difficulties that they're struggling with, um, it can also change um, their perception of reality. Um, and lastly, it's like the people that they hang out with, because again, like if they witness different perceptions, maybe their perceptions can alter as well based on how influential other people's realities are. So I think these three factors, they kind of like play a huge role in the reality. So I think the reality of others can be very different to what I have, but it doesn't stop us from actually having a decent communication or just simply enjoying life. Question number 6. How does one harness the positive emotions in this void of existence instead of taking the easy road of using spite to motivate them on their daily endeavors? In other words, how to use positive emotions in your day-to-day life instead of relying on bad ones to keep you going. Thank you for this question, and thank you for simplifying question in case if someone didn't understand the first version. Now, the best thing that I can tell you about this question is practice. Um, the thing is that it's all about balance, okay? So it is okay to have some positive emotions and negative emotions. It's okay to have a little of positivity and a slightly more negativity than positivity, or vice versa. As long as both sides um, are balanced in a way that you can actually work through things, you should be fine. Now, what I've realized about positive emotions is that because they appear much more frequently than negative emotions, they are much stronger than negative emotions. And they are much clearer and purer, I think. The laughter, or, the sensation of love, or just happiness and such. It hits you differently compared to sadness and stuff like that. Because thing is that you get used to negative feelings. You certainly do, because they appear very, very frequently. Because as I was saying lots of times, life is a cruel place, um, and the world is a cruel and unjust place. But you can always enjoy sunsets, and sunset can bring you a lot of positivity and just inspiration and confidence and just lots of joy. Um, so when you experience the positive emotion, meditate on it, focus on it as much as you can, and then make sure that you practice this emotion as frequently as you can. Try to remember how this positive emotion feels, so that when it runs dry, you can just remember how it felt like and perhaps recreate it from scratch. Also, try sticking to the things or situations that brought these positive emotions to you, so that you'll be able to easily recreate this feeling. Or actually, not just recreate it, but so that it actually bursts out naturally, if that makes sense. So, yeah, practice and environment. That's the two things that I would suggest you to focus on if you want to use more positive emotions in your day to day life. But remember, it's okay to feel bad, but what is important is how you reflect on that bad feeling. Do you um, descend lower to it, or do you reflect on it and try to understand why you feel bad? It's all about noticing. I think that's how I see it. But yeah, thank you for the question. It's a really good one. Question number 7. If you could have the attention of the world for 1 minute, what would you say? I'll probably say something about, dear world, we have quite a lot of drama now, and lots of things are happening. So let's just try and like find ways to feel better, and let's just try and not do any virtue signaling, and just start treating each other as regular human beings again. Um, it is worth just to make each other smile, because smile goes a very long way. And everyone has lots of challenges. So just try and understand that. Because perhaps what you find so passionate, others may not. So at least try and have a normal and civil conversation with each other. Maybe you'll find a compromise. Or something on these levels. I mean, of course, it doesn't sound very inspirational and such, but when I actually prepare for this speech or something like that, I usually have quite a lot of stuff to say. So, and I think it's also about how I feel when this speech happens. So yeah, dear world, if you can give me attention for 1 minute, just be ready, because I think I'll have quite a lot of things to say in 1 minute, as is. Okay, question number 8. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? It feels like I'm applying for a job again. Well, I'm currently going through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I think in 5 years I will be at stage 6 of it, which is beyond the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which means that I will potentially start helping others reaching their tops much more. What else? Uh, Hopefully my podcast will go well. So maybe I will make the podcast or just any talk show as my full-time job. I mean, who knows? Um, Again, I don't know. Maybe I will still be doing the same job as I'm doing now, because I like the job and the company that I'm working for right now, and I hope I'll keep the momentum going. But yeah, but maybe my podcast will become a bigger thing, so we'll see how it goes. Um, I'm also seeing myself with um, my special one. Um, so will be, 5 years together, or even more than that. Um, who knows what's gonna happen, like with our family and such. Um, because I do think that I have found the one who I've been looking for my entire life, and I do want to continue what we have right now. Because I think what we have right now is something very special. Uh, and lastly, I may potentially see myself as a father. Who knows? Because I think becoming a father is something that I am considering doing at some point. But I need to be ready for it. Like, I need to be the best version of myself to become the best father. Because I want to have my son or daughter or both have me as a motivation to be the best, and so that my kids will work hard to be the best, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, there may be other things happening in 5 years, but the one thing I hope for the most is that in 5 years' time, my life will still be good, and I will still find reasons to enjoy life. So we'll see how it goes. Question number 9. How do you keep your mind off distractions when beginning some more complex yet helpful tasks? Do you have any advice on how to improve your focus? Oh, that's a difficult question for me to answer, because lack of focus is something that I'm fighting every day. The thing is that I think it's because of my mental health. Focus is my biggest challenge. But there are some things that I do that helps to improve my focus. First things first, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remove all the possible distractions. For example, at work, what I was starting doing is just maybe for half an hour and an hour, if I need to focus on this one task, I put my headphones on and I play the music. Because the thing is that the office can sometimes be quite loud, and especially if they have like this music that I don't really like, especially like the radios and stuff. Like, I just personally feel very distracted by it. So sometimes the music that I enjoy does help me out indeed. Do apologize, I had a bit of a hiccup. So that's what I do. So that way I remove any potential distractions. But obviously I let my colleagues know, like, sorry guys, I just need to focus for real quick. If you have any questions, either send me a message or just wave at me and I will help you out. But feel free to ask me anything or just ask me later. And I'll be back in like half an hour or so. So there we go. So at least I've given myself like maybe an hour gap. So that nobody distracts me and I can just simply work through the stuff that I needed, and then I come back to reality and then answer any questions that have been left unanswered. Secondly is I think it's best to just look into your time management, like improve your skills and such. I know for certain this doesn't really answer your question. But time management is something that is worth improving. So what this will help you with is it will help you to understand how to actually manage your time and how to improve your focus as well. Um, and I think another advice which my amazing friend Michael uh, actually does as well is doing some like organizing, like maybe to-do lists and all that stuff. I personally don't do that every day, but when there is something like a difficult project I need to work on, like I just need to have like a written um, like detail of what needs to be done. That way, at least I understand that I'm on track and everything is, you know, everything is under control. So yeah, and definitely noise reduction helps, or replacing the noise with something that you enjoy the most. So yeah, noise reduction, distraction removal, agreement with the colleagues, or with whoever you are living or working with, whatever. Um, to-do lists and time management. So that usually does help quite a lot. Thank you for your question. Question number 10. If you had to pick a single word to describe this year so far, what would it be? I'll say promising. The year has started really well for me, and it still has a really good momentum right now. So I don't want to fall behind. Uh, you know, Things at work are going really well. I have found that my special one. Um, I have been working on myself more and just been really motivated. And I just really love how things are going. Obviously, I'm not ignoring things that are happening in the world right now, but what I'm mostly worried about is, myself and my close ones. And thankfully, they're all good and safe. I hope. Touch wood, of course. Um, but as I was saying, uh, promising, because last 2 years definitely were not the best, and just my life overall has taken such an interesting turn, especially this year. So yeah, I just want to keep momentum. So yeah, this year is definitely promising. Question number 11. When are you most productive? That's a good question. I'm I'm most productive when I feel like really inspired. So it's a mix of inspiration, lack of distraction, really good music, um, and just a clarity of what I'm doing. So I understand what needs to be done. So I'm not wasting time on like, oh, what am I gonna do today? Oh, I don't know. I need to decide. No, like I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm sticking to that plan. I'm also very productive when like I have a really good free flow of the day. So like I don't know what I'm doing, but whatever I'm doing is actually going really well. So it's just I think it just depends on the day itself as well, uh, and how inspired I feel. So that kind of stuff. Hmm. Question number 12. Is there such a thing as universal workload or speed by which one should be self-improving, or is it different from person to person? In other words, does there exist such thing as a universal science-based self-improvement formula? That's a good question. Um, Different people are different. So it is certainly worth knowing that different people um, they have different perceptions of life, and they do things differently. So there is no such thing as two identical people that do everything exactly the same way. Um, it is all about knowing yourself and what works best for you. As for the science-based self-improvement formula, um, well, I mean, of course, I can refer yourself and myself to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is a mix of psychology, I think biology as well, and possibly physics, maybe in some cases. Also economy as well. So it's a mix of sciences, all put into one hierarchy, which is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And it is proven that in order to be healthy, you need to eat good food, you need to keep yourself hydrated, you need to keep yourself clean, you need to make sure that you rest well, and you need to make sure that you are residing in a place which is not too hot, not too cold. I mean, being in cold and hot places is useful, but not on a day-to-day basis. So, that's biology. Then the second stage being all about safety, but it also touches base on finances, so economics and stuff. So that is technically a humanitarian science, because money nowadays plays a huge part in our life, and we have to know how to deal with money. And then, last things such as, love and belonging, which would be stage 3. This is all about psychology, like people are social creatures and they want to feel like they are belonging and they are welcomed in their environment and also loved. So, yeah, that is kind of psychological related stuff. And then the other stages, such as self-esteem and self-actualization, is also based on psychology as well, but it can be a mix of everything. Like self-esteem can be also related to PE, such as physical education, and just education in general. So yeah, I think that Maslow's hierarchy of needs may not be officially a science-based self-improvement formula, like universal one, but it is one for me. So I hope this makes sense. But to answer your question fully, it depends on the person themselves, and they just need to find the thing that works best for them. I hope this helps. Question number 13. What are the top 3 characteristics you feel are important for a person? Honesty. Yeah, so honesty is definitely the first important characteristic. Secondly is communication, so that the person is able to talk to you, communicate with you clearly. And thirdly is what will be the third characteristic, I wonder? So honesty, communication, and passion. I think it's passion. Because if people are genuine about what they're doing, this will work better for them. If they just do it for the sake of it, without actually feeling genuinely passionate about it, then what's the point? Like, honestly, not like, doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, honesty, communication, and passion. Number 14. What is it that motivates yourself the most? Being rewarded, I think. And I'm not talking about like actual like physical reward. It just, the reward can be both physical, mental, spiritual, psychological. Just a sensation that what you do will at some point make you feel happy that you've done it. If something doesn't make me feel this way, then I avoid doing that, because it's just pointless to do something that doesn't reward me in any other way. Number 15, I think. Yes, number 15. How to get back on track of building positive habits when you have broken your streak of consistency in improving yourself. That's a good question. What you need to make sure of is, do you really want to build this positive habit? And why is it worth building this positive habit? Reflect on it. When you broke the streak, reflect on it. Try to understand exactly why this has happened. When you begin your streak again, avoid repeating that same mistake. It is okay to take breaks, but if the break lasts for too long, this is where it can become a problem. So perhaps take short breaks. Make sure you balance it out. You can, like as an example, I think it's a healthy diet, for example. If you're eating healthy, it is okay to treat yourself once in a while. So that way you don't go mad. But always make sure that you balance it up so you don't have too much of bad stuff. So yeah, balancing is important here. But if you're truly committed, and if you have returned to that question why you're doing it and such, and if you don't treat yourself once in a while, but you still feel satisfied, then keep that feeling going, okay? For example, with the addiction that I have been fighting against since November, I still have a very clear streak. It's 159 days now, which is good. And I have no need to go back there because I feel the best. Like I feel so amazing. I've never felt so amazing in my life before. Like I actually feel free. So if you do feel this way, do not go back to those bad habits. Keep the positive habits going. Like if what you're doing as a positive habit makes you feel this way, just keep going. But if you've broken your streak, do not let yourself down. Don't give up. Just take a break, reflect on it, understand why you have broken it, and what you can do to avoid breaking it again. And then give yourself maybe a day or so, and then come back to it. Just prepare yourself, because again, you cannot just return onto this journey straight away. You need to prepare yourself. And then when you prepare yourself, you then go back to building those positive habits. So it's all good. Just imagine this as if you're building a building. Something broke, but the building is still standing. So there's still an opportunity to fix it. You use those couple of days as a break to fix that problem in the building so that you can then continue building it. Because if you rush it, the building will be demolished. It will be destroyed. Or it will destroy itself because it was unstable. So be careful. And again, if that mistake in that building lasts for too long, it will become rusty, it will become fragile, and it will be too late. The building will be destroyed by itself. So there we go. Number 16. How well do you think you understand yourself? I definitely understand myself better than maybe a few years ago, or even 5 years ago, or even 6 years ago. I think when I've experienced homelessness 6 years ago, I have discovered new perceptions in life, and I think I have understood things. So there were these burdens that I have freed myself from when I have lost a lot of things, and I became street homeless. And when I have recovered and when I have come back to to living normal, or to some extent normal, I started understanding things a bit better, and I started looking into myself a bit more, just trying to understand what is up with me, what can I do, etc., etc. So yeah, I definitely understand myself better than I used to before, but I will never understand myself 100%, so there is no such thing as perfection, but I can always seek the best of myself and then find something better. There we go. Number 17. What do you wish you understood better? How society works? Because I think I understand how society works, but there are still some aspects that I do not understand. Like, for example, why is a society so into such boring music, for example. Or what else? What else actually? I don't know. Other examples. Like why are some of the things really difficult to comprehend? Um, why are there so many rules, for example? Like why is society so limited, yet in the same time uh, there are so many freedoms that like make no sense. So just want to understand society a little bit better. That's pretty much it. Just checking if everything is recording. Yep, everything is fine. Good. Okay, so we have about 8 or so questions left, so let's get into it. Number 18. What are the first steps to get yourself out of apathetic state? Excellent question. You reflect on this apathy. Like, why do you need to, when you find the answer as to why you feel apathetic, then you will start answering more questions and asking more questions. And from there, the ball will start rolling, and then you understand exactly what is challenging you and how to get out of it. Also, a boost of inspiration helps, and boost of motivation. Just noticing small things can help you think differently. So, yeah, just a matter of noticing and a matter of reflecting. Notice, reflect, notice, reflect. And then just repeat this cycle until you start realizing, okay, hang on a second, I do not feel that apathetic. Okay, yeah, I'm actually discussing these things. And then the interest should start building up. And then use this momentum to just get out of it. I hope this helps. Number 19. How do you usually react if you receive bad service? Oh, okay. I actually recently had an experience similar to this one. There was this pizza restaurant. Not gonna name it. Don't want to give it a bad name. But the service was not good. Like, we were waiting to be seated for quite a while, even though there were lots of free seats. The staff did notice us, but didn't do anything until like a while back. Didn't even say hello or anything like that. Then we were seated. We ordered something. It was like, it came in, and the pizzas were just absolutely atrocious. They were burnt, and it just did not taste nice at all. Like, it tasted absolutely disgusting. When basically they asked, "Oh, have you enjoyed the food?" And yeah, obviously I have been, like, my reaction was just being straightforward and being honest. Like, I do apologize, but we haven't enjoyed it. So it was not delicious at all, and we did not enjoy it. And they said, "Well, sorry about that, terribly sorry," and that's pretty much it. They haven't done anything. We paid our bill, and we left. So my reaction was just basically just saying the truth, but in a kind of like in a calm, polite manner. Because what I understand, sorry, I didn't mean to squeak too much. What I understand, because I used to work in hospitality service, and there are bad days. Like, there are bad days. So I did not get angry or hostile or anything like that. So I just being calm. So with that in mind, when I do receive bad service, I'm being calm, professional, and maybe try and provide them advice and say exactly what went wrong, because what I want to see the business, especially a good business, is to flourish. In order for it to flourish, they need to know how to correct their mistakes and how to prevent them from happening again. And hopefully, if it is a good business, it will take this into consideration and it will work on it. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But yeah, my reaction is tranquility and truthfulness. That does go a really long way. Question number 20. What recent thing have you decided that you've completely over and done with? Well, as I've mentioned before, I've been fighting the addiction, one of the addictions, since 1st of November, and I am definitely over with it. So that addiction no longer disturbs me. It's gone. Like, I am pure again. I'm free. And I want to keep the momentum going. I am not going to give up, and I'm going to enjoy life to the fullest. And I'm not going back to those days again. Never again. Number 21. What positive movies or musical compositions have you heard recently? I can't say much about movies because I haven't seen like lots of like new films recently. Apart from Jackass Forever, which was like extremely funny, but it wasn't. It actually was positive, but like in a different way. It was just funny and optimistic. Of course, lots of pain was there. Like the stuntmen definitely did hurt themselves quite a bit. So I can't say much about films, but the music. I would like to recommend this band or project. It's called Gunship. They play this very rare style of music that I actually realized that is not played that much anymore. It's called synth rock, and the reason why I think it's a positive musical composition, rather a group, is because they like the lyrics are very motivational, and the music itself is very inspirational and just like uplifting and such. Just makes me feel really, really good. So yeah, I would definitely suggest checking that group out. There is one particular song of them that of theirs actually, that I like a lot. Let me just quickly check the name of it. It's called When You Grow Up, Your Heart Dies. Now, I know it sounds quite pessimistic, but trust me, the song itself, it just gives you like good hope that, even when you grow up, like don't give up. Like you have a lot to live for. Life is still great. Life is still amazing, and there is something that waits for you there, and you should just keep going. And I personally felt this song was talking to me personally. It was a really good song. So yeah, definitely listen to the band called Gunship, especially the song called When You Grow Up, Your Heart Dies. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Question number 22. What do you know is bad for you but continue to do it anyway? This one is pretty easy. Fast food. I just keep eating junk food sometimes. And even though I do cook more and, I have better dishes and such, it's still just the fact that, like, sometimes when you just can't be bothered, you just have some takeaway instead. And even though it may be okay just to have it sometimes I still, like, have it way too many times. But I definitely have it much less than I used to, which is good, but it's still work in progress. So I need to start fighting it much more now. But it is going to be hard. And actually, I would like to give a shout out to Paul. He has recently given me a gift of 40 digital cookbooks of different cuisines, so I'm definitely not going to get bored. So thank you, Paul. I'm definitely going to use this to my advantage. Thank you so much. So yeah, junk food. I really hope that one day junk food is not going to be a problem for me. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Number 23. What do you wish you had spent more time doing when you were younger? Going out. Well, actually going out with a reason, because back in the day, like, I was a massive video game nerd. Well, not just no. taking my words back, because there's only one video game nerd, and he's angry. But I have been a proper geek. I've been playing lots of video games, and I've just been spending too much time on the computer, especially when I got access to the internet. That was the worst mistake. Like, I really wanted my parents to give me an access to the internet, and I was, I think, 11 or 12 when it happened, and now I realize that it was a terrible idea. I should have just not be with the internet for some time. I could have just had more motivation just to do more things, and I could just gone out a bit more, I guess. And I wish I could have done more sports, and I wish I couldn't have given up taekwondo. Like, honestly, this is the thing that I hate myself about the most, because I've given up taekwondo because of an injury, and that was such a stupid mistake. Like, if I still carried on, I would have been in such a better shape, and I would have been so much more disciplined, and I could have worked much harder. Like, I wouldn't have been in a position where I was maybe 6 years ago or so if I still had discipline, and if I still worked hard on myself. It's such a shame that I did it, and I've realized it way too late, and I was like, God damn it, I could have been a really good, disciplined taekwondo enthusiast. But life goes on, so maybe at some point I'll go back to taekwondo. It's never too late, but it will be very difficult for me to get used to it, because, lots of excess weight, and I've lost a lot of, a lot of skills back in the day. But yeah, a true shame indeed. I could have been much more disciplined. Anyway, question number 24. What is the most interesting class you have ever taken? There were lots of classes, of course, but the one that I remember the most... actually, okay, I'm gonna give you a treat. There will be two classes. The first class is called Safe Course. So Safe Course, again, not sponsored. It's just the fact that I just talking about it. So Safe Course is the course that allows you to rebuild your confidence and perhaps find the path that you want to follow, as in with career and such. And that course helped me a lot, especially after I got fired from a previous job, because that situation was really messy, and it broke me. It really broke me, because I was really excited to work there, and then realizing that place was full of snakes and hypocrites and just absolutely toxic environment. I have just lost motivation to do everything. So at some point I woke up and just said, no, I have to do something. And I've been recommended to go through Safe Course, and I got, I felt much better, and I felt more motivated, and I got the job that I have now. The second one was the construction management course. So when I was, job seeking, I was invited for a conversation by someone who was in the job center, and they basically offered that course for construction management. I was like, okay, do I need to have experience? And they said, no, you just have this quick course, which will last 2 weeks, and they will teach you the basics of construction, how things are going, and perhaps there will be this will be something that can help you build your career. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And turns out I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. But what I found out about myself is that the physical duties are not the best for me. I'm not good at them. But such things as traffic management and working with data and numbers and stuff like that. So anything that requires a lot of brain work definitely works best for me, and I can provide more if I just work with my brain. And this course helped me to find more about myself rather than showing whether or not I'm interested in construction. I have even passed the test, which would give me a license in case if I want to do some labor work. But I ended up not using it because, well, I've got a job that is outside labor or construction. So, yeah, it's these two courses, they have opened lots of gates for me, and I'm grateful that I've actually taken those courses. So yeah. And the final question, the 25th, what is stopping you? And the answer to that is nothing anymore. Unless, depending on what's stopping me doing what, working hard, nothing. Excuse me. So nothing stops me working hard. Nothing stops me building a relationship. Nothing stops me becoming the better version of myself. Nothing stops me from, just improving my skills. Although, I don't want to commit crimes. Because firstly, it's immoral. Secondly, it's illegal to commit crimes. And I'm doing my best to, follow the word of law. So, technically law stops me from doing anything stupid. Secondly, what else? Just the moral values stop me from doing atrocious stuff. And just the mutual respect to other people. So, it stops me from just going absolutely crazy and just do some things that I'll regret about in the future. Because, I want to be treated the way, I want to treat people the way that I want to be treated. But of course, if there are some instances where moral values are completely forgotten about, I need to adjust my behavior and understand how to resolve the situation without causing too much harm. Or no harm at all. But yeah. But if we're talking about good things, such as, building skills, improving myself, building relationships, work hard, play harder, that kind of stuff, nothing is stopping me. Because I have fallen down once, and the only way to go now is up. And I must not give up, and I must not stop. So that's me. I actually enjoyed this. 25 questions gone, and it's actually almost an hour of recording. That's crazy. By the time I'm recording this right now, it's 3:12 of midday. It's the 9th of April 2022, which makes it a Saturday. So I've just recorded this episode before enjoying the weekend. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening to this episode, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you haven't, I'm sorry. I hope the next one will be better. Again, special thanks to my friends Michael, Paul, and Scott. Really good questions brought in. I'm really happy that I've done this. And hopefully you have learned something from this. And I just hope that you have enjoyed this episode in general. So, with that being said, I hope that you will have a good weekend. I hope you are having a good weekend, and I hope you will enjoy the next week. And remember to smile. Remember to care about each other. Remember to enjoy life to the fullest. And most importantly, remember, life is a cruel place, and the world is an unjust place. But at least we can still enjoy sunsets. This has been Nicholas Malson, and I wish you all a fantastic time. Take care, and I'll speak to you in the next episode. Goodbye.